hosted by an unlikely duo who are just trying to bring a little sunshine into the world.
Dad, it's been a while, but it's great to be back for another episode of Smilometer Friday.
Sure is, Dee. You know, our viewers may be wondering why we're wearing these cool-looking fedora hats today.
Don't worry, we're not becoming fashionistas, but it's to honor our talented musical guest from Australia, the lawn down under, the amazing Tony D.
Tony is always wearing cool fedoras in all his videos. And today, we wanted to be like Tony.
And he'll be joining us in just a few minutes. But now it's time for our first segment. Did you know?
Did you know that the didgeridoo was developed in Northern Australia and according to some researchers is one of the world's oldest musical instruments? It is made from a hollowed out tree and has a low pitched sound. Let's check it out. Also, did you know that Australia is the 6th largest country in the world and that they have some of the coolest animals on the planet?
I love Australia too, but I hope he doesn't get carried away and start calling everyone mate and talking endlessly about koala bears and kangaroos.
And you know who else is pretty cool? Our musical guest, Tony D from Brisbane, Australia's 3rd largest city.
Tony is an amazing singer and crooner with a voice similar to Frank Sinatra and Tony Bennett.
We discovered Tony in the beautiful video for the 2016 Paralympics, We're the Superhumans, also known as Yes I Can.
Let's take a look at this short clip.
Yes, I can. 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 Hey, yes, I can.
What a powerful video. Tony, it's great to have you on Smilometer Friday. We're big fans of your music and videos.
Hi Tony, can you share with us any funny behind-the-scenes stories in the making of this video?
I'm glad you enjoyed the video of the 2016 Paralympics. Yes, I can. It was a lot of fun to make. I'll just share one story from that. It was a cold day. It was the only cold day we'd had for our whole time there, which was really good. But it was cold and a little bit drizzly. And it was the scene with the wheelchair racers and myself. And I appear to be just pushing along nice and casually while they're all sprinting. And I'm somehow keeping up with them. That involved a truck that was towing me, and because they wanted my tie to flap in the breeze behind me, they actually had a guy with a leaf blower pointed at me on this cold day, just so that could happen. But otherwise, it was a really fun experience.
Thank you, Tony, for sharing that story. Let's take a quick look at that scene.
Yes, I can. Suddenly, yes, I can. Gee, I'm afraid to go on has turned into yes, I can. Take a look, what do you see? 133 pounds of confidence me.
If you would like to see the entire 4-minute video of We're the Superhumans, which we highly recommend, please click on the link right below.
Or as I like to say, down under.
Tony, tell us about some of your musical influences.
Obviously, my main influences have been people like Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett and Nat King Cole. But more recently, there's been fellas like Harry Connick Jr. Well, not so recently, though I was in my 20s back then. More recent than that would be Michael Bublé, of course. And I love not just the regular swing stuff, but his Christmas stuff. I love Christmas, and I would one day love to do a Christmas album, I guess.
Tony, you're in good company. They have nothing on you. Let's check out a short clip of Tony singing Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, darling, kiss me. Fill my heart with song and let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you.
That was awesome, Tony. Do you have any advice for the young or the young at heart viewers out there?
I think it's really important for kids to hear that they can do things, and what goes along with that, I guess, is never to assume that you can't do something unless you've already given it a go. So we have this thing in Australia about having a go, and it's just a common saying, but it's part of the psyche of Australians that we should have a go at things.
Good advice, Tony. We believe in no limits also.
Tony, what is the one thing that people say or do that you would like for them to stop doing?
I think I'm fairly tolerant of the things people say and do. Some of the more interesting ones have been like buying things in a store and being sort of spoken to really clearly and slowly as if I can't hear, as well as being in a wheelchair. I guess that's just, people do funny things sometimes, and I don't tend to take it too seriously. But I know other people have a little bit of a problem with it.
I know what you mean, Tony. I get the same treatment. Like sometimes when I go to a restaurant, the waiter or waitress asks my parents what I'd like to eat.
And I always say the same thing. I don't know. Ask him. Thanks, Tony, for your time today and for sharing your talent and wisdom. It's been a real pleasure meeting you, and we look forward to another amazing song at the end of our episode.
But now it's time for our next segment, Food for Thought.
And here's some sagely advice from the iconic musician and performer, Louis Armstrong.
All I'm saying is, see what a wonderful world it would be if only we'd give it a chance. Love, baby, love, that's the secret.
And now we'd like to end this episode with the amazing Tony D performing What a Wonderful World.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, bright blessed day, dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do. They're really saying I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, yeah.
Thanks again to Tony D and to all of you for joining us for this episode of Smilometer Friday. And see you next time.